Is the glory of God present? Absolutely. But it is relative. Is there visible water? Absolutely. Is it sufficient to maintain the life flow? And what I'm speaking now is there water around us? Is there water upon the earth? Yes. Is there water in the ground? Yes. Is it sufficient to maintain the life flow that is needed to bring the fields of harvest to their required maturity? No. In many cases, no. It's not sufficient, even though it's present. You see, the land does not need rain, snow, or water to produce life. It needs the life flow that is hidden away in the sons and daughters of God. A quick little deal here. What is water made of?
Oxygen.
And so if I look at that and I go, what is matter made of? Now we've heard this many times over, and I'm not going to go in depth, but I'm going to give you just an outline. What is matter made of? What is this made of? What is everything that appears? What is it made of? Let me give you a brief description. All the objects from everyday life that we can bump into, touch, or squeeze are composed of atoms. This atomic matter is in turn made up of interacting subatomic particles, usually a nucleus of protons, neutrons, and a cloud of orbiting electrons. There is a physics term called special relativity, which shows that matter may disappear by conversion into energy, and it can also be created from energy. Bottom line, all that exists today is made of energy. It is made of light. It is made of sound. It is made of vibrations and frequencies. Yes. All that is visible, all that exists is energy. And so the reality is that we have to ask the question, God, what are you made of? What are you made of? And God would say, I am the source of all energy. I'm about as intense energy can get, because I am the beginning of it and there is no end to it. God, the energy of God manifests in love.
Yes.
The love of God is an energetic force that is so intense that it can literally arrest somebody in a moment.
Yes.
God is light, which is another form of energy, which the Bible speaks of Him being the God, that He is light, that He is love. And guess what? He says that you are the light of the world. You know what He's really saying? You are the energy.
Yes.
You are the energy source of all creation. Why? Because I've invested my kingdom in you. All that I am, I have placed inside of you, my chosen temple, my chosen vessels. I have chosen you to be the generating power upon the earth. You are the epicenter of my being. That when my son did what he did and he rose up from the grave, all the energy of heaven, all of the life force of heaven, the life of my love, my kingdom, all of a sudden was projected into you.
Yes.
Yes.
And it literally disarmed powers and principalities. You see, something is happening to me to such a degree, I'm not in conflict with powers and principalities. I'm not in conflict with them. You understand? I am a son. No son or daughter is in conflict in that way unless they are subjected to or submitted to that government. So the issue is with me is a submission problem. To the degree that I am submitted to and under the government of the natural resources that are in the earth is a degree that I can be subjected to powers and principalities.
That's right.
Say la no mon go. You are the light of the world. You are the energy source of heaven on earth. Now, real quick, New Age, what does it believe? What is the basis of New Age belief? Now, I sent out a little thing about this, but I just want to expound on it a little bit. The foundation of New Age belief is that you draw energy from creation.
That's right.
They teach that all of creation has a life source in it. That everything, no matter what it is, especially creation itself, it emanates with energy. And you know what? It does. It has energy that is in it. It emanates that energy. However, this is where it's turned upside down, and this is where it's totally backwards. Because creation was never designed for you to pull energy from. Creation pulls energy from you.
Amen.
I'm going to say that again. A New Age belief, you see, they got it upside down. It's backwards. They're like, I'm going to go hug a tree because I'm going to experience the life force that is in that tree. I'm going to go touch a plant because I'm going to experience the life force that is in that plant. But the reality is that none of that was designed, none of that was created for you to draw life from. You are the life giver, not the life taker.
Yes.
Very good.
And so when the people of God begin to rise up into their true state, into their mantle, something profound begins to happen. You see, that is why creation, they're growing for your maturation.
Yes.
Because believe it or not, creation draws life from you. Why? Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with Him in the beginning. All things were made by Him, through Him, and for Him. And there was nothing that was made that was not made. And all of that was invested in you.
That's right.
And when creation sees you, experiences you, it's experiencing the energy of God, the very essence of life, and it's literally drawing on you. There's a man that I've recently come into contact with in the sense of hearing different testimonies of his life and experiences. His name's Mark. And one of the experiences that he shares is he had a supernatural encounter with a tree. He's had major supernatural encounters, but supernatural encounter with the tree. This person sent me this info because of some things that I've been teaching and speaking about. And they were like, we want you to know that that's actually happening in the earth. Things are miraculously changing, transforming. So he has an experience with the tree. And what happens is that he literally puts his reaches into this tree, and by the Spirit, he actually hears the tree communicate, and the tree feels the essence of light that is in him, and the tree says, you know what? I don't need water to live. I don't need the sun. I need the life force that is in you. And so what he felt was literally like the tree pulling on the life of heaven that was in him, feeding off of him. Now I know this puts people on tilt, but I want you to know that this is a reality of the manifestation of the sons of God. When I spoke to you about people walking across fields and crops rising up and things beginning to happen, that is a reality that is actually taking place right now in the physical.
Yes.
It is being witnessed, not just someone telling the story, but it is being witnessed because there is a transformation of heaven upon earth to such a degree that all of a sudden, all of the things that in the makings, all the things that we thought would not come to form are coming to form because you are the life. You are the force of heaven. The sustaining forces in the earth today are temporary. Their current state are the result of the nature of sin entering into the world. Anything that is subject to decay has not yet taken on its true glorious state. I want you to just settle in this thought for a moment. Anything that is subject to decay has yet to take on its glorious state. And so Paul often in Corinthians refers to this body as a temporary tent because he places it within the field of decay. But the reality is this mortality is being swallowed up by immortality.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And the key is, how much immortality can you take on now, today? Because immortality was not designed to it was not designed to be taken on another day after you die, another death. The moment that you stepped into the revelation of what Jesus Christ did was the moment you stepped into immortality. And from that moment on, your body has been subject to the immortal state of heaven.
Right.
And each day as we surrender, and each day as we yield, and each day as we engage with Father and enter into these realms, each time our body is physically being impacted by immortality, by eternity. One of the things that Mark experienced was after a tragic accident that he literally had no face, he literally had no head because it was crushed. And God began to take him into realms of his kingdom and began to recalibrate his body. He had no brain function. In fact, today, he has very little brain function, but yet functions at 110%. When he left the hospital, he had no brain function. They put him on, devices and machines and said, this guy by all rights should be non-functional at all. But what had happened was God would take him up into heaven. This is what I want you to hear. He wouldn't just take him up by the Spirit, but he would take his whole body. He would take his whole body up into this realm, and he would recalibrate his body. And while he was going through multiple of surgeries, which they believed would not work, and they tried to put other devices in him so that when he died, they would be able to use his body as a spectacle, as a means of education for other people of what they were scientifically trying to do to the physical body, and he declined it. And to this day, he was a musician before, and to this day, he sings. This day, if you were to look at him, there is no scar on his face. And my point is this, is that we are entering into a time of graduation, where we have been engaging. Right now, many people think it is difficult, it is hard to just experience God by the Spirit. We go up by faith, and we experience this by faith, and I experience this in my imagination and the mind of my spirit and ongoing. When we think that is a tremendous achievement, and in many ways it's relative, because it is. However, what God is saying, I don't want to just take your spirit being, I want to take your whole body. I want your whole body to enter in. And I realize something, that I believe that Paul's experience has been totally misinterpreted, because when Paul was saying whether into the body or out of the body, I do not know, he wasn't saying that he left his body behind. He was saying that his body went with him, but whether I was in it or out of it, I don't know. That's a whole different look. Right now, this guy, one of many people, this guy that I am speaking of, he literally, his family watches his body disappear because it has to be recalibrated so that it stays intact because of the glory and power of God. His children, his 7 children, are eyewitnesses of this kingdom life flow, of the transformation that's taking place in his life and manifesting in their life.